Has been a difficult couple of hours that started with a traffic stop. From that, we have 3 police officers that were shot with non-life-threatening injuries. Police Commissioner Gramaglia and I, Deputy Commissioner Lark, have been able to visit with 2 of the officers. They are in good spirits. We've been able to spend some time with them and their families. We have a 3rd officer that came through surgery and is in stable condition. There are 2 suspects in custody. This was a very brazen situation with a suspect shooting from a vehicle at police officers. We are very fortunate tonight that no members of the public were struck by gunfire, a very, very dangerous situation, and we are very thankful that 2 suspects involved in this situation are in police custody. To provide you with more specific detail, I'm going to turn things over to Buffalo Police Commissioner Joseph Gramaglia.
So the information I'm going to provide is very preliminary. It's an ongoing investigation. As you can imagine, there's a lot going on, a lot still to uncover. But a little before 6 o'clock this evening, officers went to stop a car on a traffic stop around the foot of Ferry. A brief encounter of that traffic stop started. The suspect vehicle then took off and proceeded northbound on Niagara Street. The police vehicle, in an attempt to stop the vehicle again, continued northbound. At some point a little bit further up northern on Niagara Street, the suspect vehicle let somebody out of the car, and then a short time after that started shooting at the police vehicle, opened fire on the police vehicle. Pursuit continued throughout the Upper West Side, Black Rock area, worked its way down. We're still piecing this together to the 198 over to the 33. When it made its way off on Bailey Avenue, and at numerous points along the way, the suspect vehicle continued opening fire, shooting at police vehicles. On Bailey Avenue, one of the police vehicles, again being shot at, an officer was struck, was hit through the police vehicle windshield, was struck multiple times. Pursuit continued on with the suspect vehicle continuing to shoot. At another point in the pursuit, another police vehicle fired upon, and an officer was shot in that vehicle. The pursuit went out into West Seneca, to the best of our information at this time, came back into the city and terminated in the area of Ferry and Fillmore, where it appears gunfire was exchanged. There was numerous shots fired. A suspect was shot at that intersection. That suspect is here at the hospital. It's my understanding that going in for surgery, I do not have a condition update on that individual. Another suspect was brought back to our Buffalo Police headquarters. As the mayor said, we have a total of 3 police officers that have been shot. 1 went into surgery, and we're happy to report is out of surgery and in stable condition at this time. We have 2 other officers that were shot. 1 was shot in his bullet-resistant vest, and the vest worked, thank God. The other officer was shot in the arm and the bicep, and appears grazed in the ear as well, and he's in good spirits and he's doing well. These police officers are out there every day, trying to make this city safer, and they are going into gunfire, literally. They are going into the danger to make this community safer. They did their jobs, they did it with honor and respect today, and thank God that they are all going to go home. One will be going home when he gets out of the hospital, the other will be going home, and thank God for that. We have numerous support from multiple agencies, from the state police to the sheriff's department to the FBI. They're here, they're on scene, they're aiding. There are numerous crime scenes around the city. As we said, the suspect vehicle was continuing to fire multiple shots, so it's going to be a long and busy night processing all these crime scenes. And with that, we'll take any questions, or unless, John, I'm sorry.
So I don't think in 5 years I have ever got in front of the microphone before the arraignment. This is obviously a very different situation. This is a serious situation where we have 3 police officers shot. We have 2 people, as the mayor and the commissioner stated, persons of interest in custody. Since I have to perhaps prosecute any of these matters, I'm going to use the word allegedly right now. Allegedly, we have suspects. Allegedly, we have shots fired. We have obviously a situation here that is very serious, and that is why I felt the need to speak on this before any arraignment. Whether or not any charges will be filed at this time tonight, we just don't know yet. My chief of homicide is at the office right now, where I just left him, who is in constant contact with the detectives in the Buffalo Police Department, and they are talking over charges at this time and piecing together the evidence that we have out there. So whether or not there'll be arraignment tomorrow morning, we're not sure at this time. As the commissioner stated, this is a fluid situation. This is a situation that involved a long car chase with numerous shots being fired. So in order to piece it all together and to have a situation where we can press charges may not happen until a later date. It may not even be tomorrow. So we'll have to find out and wait and see what happens. But obviously my thoughts and prayers are with the 3 police officers here, and thank God that everything turned out okay for them, and none of them are life-threatening.
All right, any questions for any one of the 3? Marlene?
Do you have the third person who was let out earlier? Are they in custody?
Commissioner, can you step to the microphone?
I'm sorry, repeat that?
They said somebody was let out of the car early in the chase before the shots started?
There's a lot of questions I'm not going to be able to answer, but we'll have to check with our detectives. Like I said, it's still very chaotic, so we're still looking into that.
Marlene?
But they were let out before the shots were fired.
We'll, not to get too deep into this, but I'll confirm that the information we have at this time is that that is what occurred there.
To that point, do you believe there were 3 individuals in the car that the police were chasing? And as well, why was there a traffic stop to begin with?
We're investigating how many people were in the car beyond what we do know. As far as the traffic stop, I don't have the information on what led to that traffic stop, but there was a traffic stop.
Can you confirm or at least let us know the 3 different locations or just where the officers were?
I have the locations. One was on Bailey near the E-District station. I don't recall what the second location was. Sorry, there's a lot going on. And then the third one was at Ferry and Fillmore.
Were any of the officers riding together? Were they riding separately?
These, all 3 officers that were struck by gunfire were in 3 separate police vehicles.
Olivia?
How were police eventually able to stop the suspect vehicle?
It's my understanding, I believe the suspect vehicle terminated in some kind of an accident. I don't have all the specifics on that. Again, I apologize because there is, a lot of stuff that's coming at us.
Tim?
Commissioner, I mean, this extended over a large section of the city over a long period of time, at least for a police chase, as far as that's concerned. I mean, how is this to coordinate? I mean, I was listening on police radios. It just seemed absolutely chaotic as it unfolded.
It certainly can become a chaotic situation, but it's a lot of coordination by officers, supervisors on the street, trying to contain this the best that they can. But at the end of the day, we've got a pursuit here with very dangerous, violent suspects firing numerous shots, and they're constantly evaluating the pursuit as they go.
Channel 7?
When you spoke to some of the officers upstairs, what did they say?
Obviously everyone's concern is with the officers that were struck. We had one that was in surgery at the time. They're all very concerned. It's, as I said, thank God that the one officer is out of surgery now. It's gonna be a bit to process all this, but the first concern is that they are all going to be okay.
Rob?
I know we've discussed no chase policies in the city of Buffalo. What's the standard right now as far as an incident like this across multiple locations in the city?
I mean, the chase in this case is within the policy. You have very violent individuals. When you have deadly physical force being used, that's within the policy.
Marlene?
I know you can't say much at this time about any other potential suspects, but with that potential, any concern for the public tonight?
Nothing that's been brought to my attention yet as far as a danger to the public. Again, it's a very fluid situation, and we have every available detective an officer working on this case, and we are also maintaining police services throughout the city.
All right, a couple more questions, Elizabeth.
Commissioner, the status of the scene, the entire perimeter of surrounding Fillmore has been blocked off. That's a big residential area, a lot of kids walking from school, a lot of parents out there. It's cold. What's the status of it right now, and is it safe?
Well, I think about the approximate time that over there was about 6:40-ish, so I'm not sure anybody would have been walking home from school at that time. The scene is safe, it's secure, we have plenty of officers over there. The scene is done as far as an active scene. It's transitioned now into an evidence collection, a crime scene. It's going to remain closed for some time. We have, like I said, numerous agencies that are helping us with evidence collection.
And we've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook, on Twitter, things like that. If people have videos, should they be sending them in to you? What should we do with that?
Yeah, I mean, any video will certainly take any vantage point anybody has.
Where can they send that?
Two more questions.
Where can they send it?
They can contact our Buffalo Police, our homicide squad. They can call Buffalo Police headquarters, and then we'll coordinate getting that through our homicide, or any police officer for that matter in any district, and we can coordinate that.
With how far-reaching this whole chase and incident was, is there any estimation of how many bullets were fired by either the suspects or police?
I can't answer that question right now because I don't know.
Chief Flynn, do you have, I mean, you have your chief of homicide on this. Do you have any idea of what kind of charges could come from this?
No. I just have my chief of homicide on it because he's my most senior and experienced assistant district attorney who handles the most serious cases in my office. So I called him up at home and got him back in. And so at this point, you know, it's way too early to tell what charges are out there. Way too early.
Three more questions. Elizabeth, Tim, I think you had one. Marley, did you have one?
I did.
Okay. Tim, Elizabeth.
I just want to know, what role are other nonviolence groups like the Peacekeepers, Fathers, all these other groups? I saw some of them out there. Are they helping you with this investigation? Were they out there earlier?
So the violence interrupters, the peacemakers, they come out on scenes where shootings occur. They're there to help. If there's anybody from the crowd, anybody's out there, community members, they can help engage that and deal with some of the questions that people in the crowd might have. They're of value to us.
All right, Marley.
This is something that, obviously, this is police officers' worst fear when they go out in the field. You never know what to expect. You hear about officer-involved shootings in other cities. You never think that it's going to happen in your own backyard. For you all as city leaders, what is going through your mind right now? Whoever wants to answer.
You certainly never want to see a situation like this. Shock when I got the call, concern about the condition of the police officers, concerned about community members. Came here to the hospital immediately upon being told that officers were transported to ECMC. Was very pleased that the injuries were non-life-threatening to the police officers. Certainly was very pleased that no member of the public was struck by gunfire. These suspects showed absolutely no regard for the community. And certainly very pleased that two suspects are in custody because these are clearly very dangerous people.
Deputy Vermaglio, Commissioner Vermaglio, we frequently talk about how it's a small number of trigger pullers within the city. Were these suspects, or at least the ones that are in custody, were they known to police?
We're going to look into their background now. I don't have their names now, but I've been very clear and I've been very much on the record on this. There are far too many guns illegally possessed in the hands of people that should not have them. Our officers arrest a significant amount of people and take a significant amount of guns that are illegally possessed. They need to be prosecuted. The district attorney's office prosecutes them fully. They need to spend time behind bars, out of public. I'm very clear on this. We are constantly combating gun crimes. Our shootings have been a significant problem for the last several years. We've made a lot of progress through a lot of great work by the officers, the very officers that are now in here being treated on removing guns from our streets. They need to spend time in prison. I'll be very clear on that. When gun defendants, and sometimes with multiple gun possession arrests, walk out of custody because they either have too low bail and sometimes are released without bail, that's a problem. That's a real problem. We are here to make our community safe, and we need the trigger pullers. We need those possessing guns behind bars.
Last one.
I know you said that no bystanders were hit, but is there any indication that any local businesses or homes were damaged? And if not, is that a relief considering how erratic this chase and firing sounds like it was?
I have no information on, like I said, it's a lot of area to cover. There's going to be a lot of scenes processed, and I'm sure we're going to wind up with more tomorrow. Daylight hits, people might call. Thank God that, as the mayor said and the DA said, that no civilians were hit.